It's minicamp and OTA season, and today we're looking at the Cleveland Browns and getting another look at Shedeur Sanders. We're going to watch him throw the ball around, work through some drills and everything else. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at rookie camp, minicamp, OTAs, training camp, workouts in between, so you get a good look at these rookies. Those quarterback battles, those guys you're drafting on your fantasy team, it's all going to be right here. You need to know what your players are doing behind the scenes. Click that button, stop missing out. But we're going to be looking at a lot of clips of Shedeur Sanders. Some recent ones, all from this week, almost 15 minutes. So we're going to watch him. Let me know in the comments below, when do you think he's going to start for the Cleveland Browns? Not when he should, but when you think he's going to get the nod. Is it week 1? Is it around October? Is it this year? When do you think it's going to be? But let's roll. We'll loop this and talk ball if necessary, but we got a lot of clips here. We're rolling, boom. Hitting them. This one's from the Cleveland Browns. It was from today off their social media. This one, either today or yesterday. Here's him rolling, boom. Hitting him. Shedeur's been stacking wins. He's been stacking wins, stacking days here. Rookie camp, OTAs. They wrapped up OTAs, and now they're getting ready to go into minicamp here soon. OTAs and minicamp are usually like right next to each other. They might as well just give them the same name. But there we go. There aren't many bad plays in this highlight reel. And it's not a highlight reel. It's just whatever I could find. And this has been wire to wire with the Browns. There's like one throw where it got batted and went for a pick. There's a couple other, but really, 90-some% of the time, he's been on the money. He has been looking solid. Been looking very solid. Accounts of Kenny Pickett, I got a couple. There's one beat writer from this week saying that he was off on a lot of throws, was close to throwing a lot of picks. ESPN Radio out of Cleveland said he was the worst quarterback of the bunch, and that was going into this week. However, they have not been the most enlightening source of news. Gabriel had some balls batted down at the line of scrimmage earlier, like days ago, but you haven't seen much or heard much out of him. Joe Flacco has been looking solid. He's been stacking days, just like Shedeur. And those two seem like the two clear-cut winners so far from camp, which is a good thing for Shedeur. And if you've been wondering my opinions, or if you've heard it, I'm not too big on Kenny Pickett. I just haven't been for the longest time. Not even at Pitt. I believe Jordan Addison was the reason why he got drafted so high. Addison just killed it. If it wasn't for having a really good wide receiver there at Pitt, I don't think you'd be remembering Kenny Pickett's name, honestly. I think Shedeur Sanders is a better talent. He's got a pretty deep ball. He's accurate downfield. He's accurate all over the place. Now, Dylan Gabriel, going back to him, I like him. I like him for what he is, though. I recognize what he is. He's going to be a good backup quarterback in the league for a long time. He's a very accurate passer. Of course, we're vertically challenged, but we're accurate. We're very cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. Joe Flacco has a decorated career. Father Time's looking at him right in the eyes right now. We know that, but we can also go on runs of throwing picks. I think Joe Flacco's the veteran in the group here that you're watching throughout the offseason. And when these deals were made, I thought it was going to be Flacco ended up being the guy, Pickett being the backup bridge quarterback, and if they draft the quarterback with those first couple picks or even early second round, that quarterback was just going to get time to develop, and that's what they were doing there. Shedeur Sanders in a weird situation where this might be like a blessing falling in the draft, because now your feet's under the fire. Your feet's under the fire right now. You have to make some moves. You have to come in aggressive. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm drafted in the first, early second. I'm getting time to develop. I got some veterans here as a bridge. Now you got to prove your worth a little bit more because there's no sunk cost invested in you. And the thing is, maybe that's the case. Because we have been money downfield. We have been money on most plays, almost all of them. We have been money. We looked apart. Look at them. We're moving. We're on the run here. We have been money. Like, some people were negative either way about him falling the draft. Maybe it's going to be a blessing for him. Maybe that he needs his feet to some fire. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we needed that test, or he needed that test. Maybe. See him move his eyes around, go through some reads there. Again, the shots on the play, you don't see everything. There we go. He's a money on a lot of these throws. We're looking at OTAs here. What was available to us? Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Shedeur, and the media storm out of Cleveland on the radio shows. ESPN Cleveland, whatever that is, we covered it. And they made a big deal about reps being split up. And it was Gabriel and Pickett to start things off, and Flacco and Shedeur together. And now we got deeper into camp. It didn't even matter. It didn't really matter. Flacco's getting a lot of the reps, and we're seeing Shedeur get a little less. But they're trying to work him in. ESPN Cleveland radio is worried about him getting a chance. It's from the amount of clips I got, it looks like they're going to be able to get an assessment. I'll definitely say that. He's got more clips than Flacco, definitely more than Pickett, definitely more than Gabriel. I know because I've been on the search, so I can have content to look ball for you guys. And then also reading the accounts. I read the accounts, I read what people said. A lot of times it's just him saying, hey, him throwing to this dude, that. But you'll get the accounts as well, like, hey, he's been looking good, he's been on the money, or something like that. And then the negative ones will come out and they'll stick like fire. The one on Kenny Pickett was the only negative really I got. The Dylan Gabriel, the ball being batted down, they didn't really harp on it much. It's just something you'll just notice. But Shedeur's been money. He hasn't had many bad plays. Hasn't had many, but it is OTAs, drills mainly, some 11 on 11, 7 on 7s. On the run. A lot of people don't give him credit. Was that a missed throw? A lot of people don't give him much credit when he's on the run and how he is extending the pocket. A lot of people don't. You saw what you saw at Colorado, but also what he did at the FCS level. He did more mobility on there. Let's see how we are there. Boom, getting it. A little sidearm action. Stepping it up in the pocket, getting it out. Getting it out. Caden Davis, that clip went viral the other day. I was just earlier this week. I think about two days ago. Did you see that? Did you see that? That's him knowing the timing of the play. Because he's looking the other way and went there. That was hit and bobbled, but just having a good feel of the timing of the route where he's supposed to be. Knowing the coverage. Again, context is king. We don't have all the context of everything called or whatnot, or what they were going for, or if it was pre-scripted. Looking, boom, up in the air. That is where he's money. That back corner fades down the sideline. That is where he's money. That is where he's accurate. When do you think he's going to start? Now, if you haven't been watching the channel, I've said I believe they're going to have multiple quarterbacks start. I have a feeling they're going to probably lean into Flacco. They're going to lean into Flacco unless he has a big run of picks in training camp. I think they like Kenny Pickett. They've said it a few times. Stefanski said it on some radio show clips that we've went over. They like Pickett. They may give him a good leash. I think Shedeur's going to get his moment. And from what I've seen and what I've heard from Mary Kay Cabot and everything, the schedule starting off is pretty rough. The turnover differential is going to be huge for this team. Maybe you want the vets starting the season and then it go to obliteration and then you let Shedeur step in. That way, pregame, all the basic stuff, transitioning to the NFL level, That's been worked out. Now we don't have to worry about that. And we come in and we play ball. We come in and we play ball. We already have the season like downward spiraled. You don't have to worry about winning games. You have to worry about like just playing ball. Maybe you get there where you can just play pitch catch. Like, you think about all that stuff. Like, I always think about the good in things. Do you think about the good in things? I just think about the good in things. Like, maybe Flacco ends up being good for the Browns. He was before. Maybe he does. Maybe that's the big thing. Like, if Flacco plays well, that could just mean it's not happening this year. It's just hard to see a season where we're not seeing multiple quarterbacks. And that run of picks, because I'm not the only one to mention this. There's Fannin. I like Fannin a lot. It's Darren Flacco. It's Darren Flacco. Shedeur's got a pretty ball by the pylon. It's a pretty ball. That is just pretty deep ball. Accurate downfield. Drifting in the pocket is an issue. We've seen that in rookie camp clips a couple times, like 1 or 2 times. That is something that could come ahead more in training camp when we get the pads on. That is something that could come up, especially when we get the joint practices right before the preseason games. But everything's showing him on the money. He's very cool, calm, collected, and not exposed, but composed back there. He's a rookie, so you have to treat him like a rookie. So give him some grace, allow him some time to develop. He's carrying himself like a vet, though. He's showing good anticipation in drills. We got to get the pads on, see what's up. I don't like Kenny Pickett that well. I did not like him as a prospect. Everything's holding true with that. And the reason why is, honestly, we did not have like a long bill of credibility coming out of Pitt. On top of that, Jordan Addison was money. He was money. And just having that asset in the ACC, being able to throw that up. Shedeur is just looking solid. There we go. Pierre Strong, also FCS level back. Good size, adjusted athleticism. Good speed. A good running back to have on the back end of any depth chart. Getting it out there. We're looking solid. Wrapping up OTAs. Minicamp soon. Minicamp's going to be huge for him, as we're going to watch Shedeur take on another level. Each camp, it just ramps up a little bit. It just keeps ramping up a little bit. And then we're in training camp, and that's where it ramps up too. Like, it kind of goes back, like the first couple of days of practice at training camp, it's kind of like mini camp OTAs, where it's basics. And then, before you know it, pads are on. Practices are all hot and heavy. And then you're seeing fights around the league at practices. And then before you know it, joint practices. That's when you're practicing with another team. That's where things will come to a head. That is where you'll get the look. That is where you get the look of the other quarterbacks too. That is where you got to win it. Back corner, that's money. That is where you're watching him the most. When you get to those joint practices and preseason games. It matters. I ain't going to lie. Those joint practices too. That'll be the nail in the coffin. That'll be the nail in the coffin of how much they want to look at him in the preseason games too, or where he's at in the preseason games. But allow him time to develop. Allow him time to climb this depth chart. Give him some time. I think there's a good opportunity of him just climbing the depth chart. Good opportunity. That is something to pay attention to. There's Harold Fannin again. Harold Fannin's a stud. Stud tight end prospect out of Bowling Green. Stacked up the stats. Racked them up. Looked good at Senior Bowl. getting it down there. I definitely see him going tight end a lot. David Njoku and Shedeur Sanders could be a good combo. Could be a good combo. It's not like we saw him with a stud tight end in Colorado. That might be a good combo. Deion Sanders there. Good catching balls out of the backfield. Hurt hamstring throughout the draft process, so you look at the 40 time, that might be an indicator how fast he is. He ran in the 10s in high school for the 100. Quinshon Judkins ran well at the combine, showing speed. Very, very good running back prospects here with a lot of upside. But Shedeur Sanders is here to play. Shedeur Sanders is here to win. Let me know if you're still here. Drop an emoji. Drop a fire emoji right now. Let me know if you're still here. Let me know if you're a fan of the Dog Pound, Shedeur, Colorado, whatever it is, fantasy football, or you like watching the takes here that I do multiple times a day. But that is a wrap for OTAs for the Cleveland Browns. Minicamp's up next. They're always right next to each other. That being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.